We didn't think you might mistake me for him. Fred is 8 years older than me. Look closely, Blore.
You do look young, I noticed that. Thought it must be the sea air.
You were taking the Purcells' bribes for years. After the Landor case, people began to ask questions. The Purcells needed what the Yank detective novels call a fall guy. My brother was framed, you were in the clear.
Your whole story sounds like a detective novel.
I've never stopped trying to clear Fred's name and put you in Dartmoor prison where you belong. Thanks to your greed, I may now have that chance.
Maybe you're Patrick, maybe you're Fred. I don't know, and I don't much care. You're either a criminal, or you've been harboring one all these years. I wonder what my fellow guests will think of that. Go on, Mr. Narracott. Hop it. I need to prepare for dinner.
Alright, so there's a little bit of subplot going on here. Actually, I think there's a lot of subplot going on here, and I probably just went through the wrong door. Oh, hey, what do you know? I did pick the right door. Anyway, yeah, so apparently Patrick's brother got framed for something, and I don't think I understand that. I probably sound like an idiot, I know, but just, I don't much care for subplots that don't tie into the main story. I mean, the only way that this ties into the main story is that it brings our player character here. I'm gonna stop rambling and actually go into the damn room. Or knock. That works.
Narracott? I thought you'd be long gone by now. That storm's getting pretty fierce.
Somebody scuttled my boat.
I saw Blore watching you like a hawk eyes its dinner. Could it have been him?
Possibly.
Any idea why?
I'd rather not say.
Suit yourself. I'd better get ready for dinner.
It's amazing how he knows when to knock and when to just barge right in.
Oh, Mr. Narracott, I thought that you'd left us.
Someone scuttled my boat.
Oh, but that's dreadful. Surely the harbour master will send another boat when you're missed.
Not in this storm, I'm afraid. And even then, it won't be reported.
Why ever not?
My brother. He knew I might not be immediately back.
I'm terribly sorry for your trouble. The Owens should be arriving shortly. I'm sure you can get a ride back in that boat. If you'll excuse me, I must get ready for dinner.
Well, talking to some of the characters and listening to some of the voice acting, I'm quite curious to know what y'all's opinion is on their voices. Just, you know, if you want to comment on it.
Yes? Oh, Mr. Narracott, I had a question for you. Have you heard anything in Sticklehaven about this house being set up as a guest house?
No, Miss Brent.
No. Mrs. Rogers hasn't either. And who are the Owens?
I haven't met them yet.
Would it surprise you to learn neither have Mr. and Mrs. Rogers? It's odd. Very odd. If you'll excuse me, Mr. Narracott, I must make dinner preparations.
Anyway, now that that's over, most of the voice acting's pretty good. You know, there are a few instances where it's not up to par with goodness, I guess. I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling on right now. And I'm curious to see what can I see through here. Why are his bed sheets pink? Poor Mackenzie.
My wife is indisposed, not receiving visitors today.
Your wife, sir?
What?
Your wife?
My wife, yes. Leslie. I'm sorry, my boy. I was wool gathering, miles away. My apologies. Must dress for dinner now. Send my orderly to me, if you will. No, that's not right. What was I thinking? I must get ready for dinner now.
General Mackenzie isn't exactly in the right head.
That sounds like the dinner bell.
Indeed. The dinner bell.
Mr. Narracott, unfortunately, we are not prepared for your presence at dinner. I would be most happy to deliver you a sandwich later this evening, if that will do.
That will be fine, Rogers. Thank you.
Excellent. Now, if you will excuse me, I must get to serving.
By all means.
continuing on my little tangent of voice acting,
I can hear them all in the dining room chattering. I can't quite make out what they're saying. This might be a good time to explore the house more thoroughly.
Anyway, I think the only voice that I'm not particularly fond of is Vera. It's just, I can't really explain why. I just don't particularly like it. Maybe it's just too British.
Aha! With my ear against the door, the conversation becomes quite clear.
Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Wine, Doctor?
No, thank you, Rogers. I never touch alcohol. Except for sterilizing wounds or instruments, of course.
I tried to collect some apples from an orchard on the island, but a bee stung me. I'm afraid I dropped the basket and ran. No need to apologize. I myself am dreadfully allergic to bees, wasps, hornets. I'm sorry to hear there are bees here. Oh, you must take care. There's all sorts of those bee house things. What do you call it?
An apiary.
Oh, I thought that was for monkeys.
Ethel,
Miss Claythorne, we've never met, but I do seem to recall your name.
Oh?
Yes, from when I stayed at that stuffy old hotel near St. Trednick. Do you know it?
No. No, I don't think so.
Really? How extraordinary. I was so shocked.
Narracott says he's not Fred Fane, but his brother. It may well be, but he bears watching.
He sits funny.
Seems like such a nice man.
They said the same thing about Stevenson, the child murderer. I confess I've never met our host, Mr. Owen. What kind of a man is he? Rogers?
We haven't seen the Owens either, sir. We were only engaged a week ago by letter and asked to make the house ready.
so no one has actually met the Owens.
How extraordinary.
I, for one, will have some sharp questions for the Owens when they do arrive.
Now that I hear it a bit... my laptop's being noisy again. I'm sorry to y'all if you can hear it. Ugh. Calm down. Jeez. What am I... Okay, I'm talking to my laptop. I'm losing it. Well. Oh, right. There was something else I was going to pick up in here. Oh, and on a random note, if I happen to start getting a slight British accent, blame the game. Also, I just lost it. Alrighty, blah blah, items. So we've got a letter from Roger.
I copied the contents into my notebook.
And then Roger's letter.
I copied the contents into my notebook.
Let's browse through these really quickly, and then I think a quick recording. This is Owen I'll be giving a little house party, only 8 guests. The larder's well stocked. Friday. This is the the gramophone record. That's interesting. And yeah, and they said they're being delayed and wants to play the recording. Blah blah. I'm gonna check this bathroom really quick. I don't know if there's anything in here or not. There probably isn't. I can only think of one bathroom where there's anything interesting, and it's not something you'd think to find in a bathroom. Oh boy. Okay. Well then, I'm just gonna step out here, and for now I am done. Thanks for watching. Yeah. If it's not completely obvious, this is my first LP, so there's gonna be a lot of rambling and me trying to strike up some awkward comments as I run through here. Yeah. Okay, so, I suppose I will see you all later. AJ out. Woo.